Okay, so today we're diving into something that's basically a real-life superpower, emotional intelligence. We're going to explore how mastering your inner world actually gives you way more control and confidence out in the real world. Let's get right into it. First off, let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like your emotions, that flash of anger or frustration or that wave of anxiety are totally in the driver's seat and you're just along for the ride? Yeah, it happens to all of us. But what if you could actually take back the wheel? So to even start, we've got to make a major mindset shift. Instead of seeing tough emotions as something to fight or push down, we're going to learn how to see them as, well, as powerful messengers. And this is the absolute core idea right here. Emotions are not the enemy. They're just data. Think of them like signals trying to tell you something really important about what you need. And once you learn to decode them, you can start responding wisely instead of just, reacting. Now check this out. This is how we start translating those tough feelings. That feeling of frustration, it's not just you being in a bad mood. It's a signal that whatever you're doing isn't working and something's blocked. And jealousy? What if you saw that not as some ugly flaw, but as a compass pointing directly at something you really, truly value? And fear? That's just a sign that you're up against something that actually matters to you. It's a call for courage. All right, so understanding the signal is step one. Huge step. But what's step two? Like, how do you actually use that information in the heat of the moment? Well, that brings us to one of the most powerful tools you can possibly develop, the ability to just pause. This breaks it down perfectly. A reaction is totally automatic. It's impulsive and, let's be honest, it often leads to regret, like when you snap at someone because you're frustrated. But a response, that's born from that little pause. It's thoughtful, it's intentional, it's wise. That tiny gap between a feeling and an action, that is where all your power lies. So, how do you create that pause? Here is a super simple, practical tool you can use absolutely anywhere. It's the 90-second pause. First, you just breathe. A slow, controlled breath literally calms your nervous system down. Second, you name the emotion. Just saying to yourself, okay, this is jealousy, actually takes away a lot of its power. And finally, you ask yourself that one critical question. What is the wise next step? This simple sequence is your emotional reset button. It's ready whenever you need it. Okay, so now let's take these skills and apply them to two of the toughest challenges out there in the social world, especially when you're a teen: peer pressure and that constant, endless game of comparison. First up, peer pressure. That feeling of being pushed to do something you know isn't right can trigger a whole storm of emotions. The real key to handling it with confidence is to actually have a plan before you're ever in that situation. And you don't need some big, complicated argument. Here are three super simple but really effective ways to say no. You can be direct, which is just clear and powerful. You can use a soft plus firm approach, like, nah, not for me, I'm good, which is casual but still strong. Or you can use this great strategy called blame something else, which gets you out of it without making it a huge conflict. So let's look at the direct style for a second. No, I'm not doing that. Just notice how clear and clean that is. There's really no room for argument there. It's calm, it's confident, and it respects your own boundaries. You seriously don't owe anyone a longer explanation. And here's the blame something else style in action. I promised my parents I'd be home. This is such a brilliant way to get out of a tough spot. It just shifts the reason away from you and onto some other commitment, which can honestly shut down the pressure immediately and pretty gracefully. All right, let's tackle the second big one, the comparison trap. You know what I'm talking about? Scrolling through social media, it is just so easy to look at someone else's highlight reel and feel like your own life doesn't measure up. This habit can do some serious damage to your self-talk and your confidence. So here's a real, actionable plan to fight back. A 7-day comparison detox. First, figure out your main trigger. Is it a specific app? Is it seeing certain things? Then set a clear rule, like limiting your time on that app for just 1 week. But the most crucial step is number 3, replace the habit. When you feel that urge to scroll and compare, do something that actually makes you feel good instead. Go for a walk, listen to music, read a book. You're literally retraining your brain. Now here's the cool part. As we get better at understanding our own emotions, we unlock this amazing ability to understand others. And that brings us to our final and maybe most important skill, empathy. And this isn't just about being nice. It's a true social superpower that builds strong, real connections.
So what even is empathy, exactly? Well, it's the ability to really tune into someone else, to genuinely try to understand what they might be feeling, to think about what they might need, which isn't always what you think they need, and then to figure out how to best offer support. And here's a super simple method to put empathy into practice right away. LRS. First, just listen. And I mean really listen. Don't plan what you're going to say next. Don't interrupt. Just hear them out. Next, reflect back what you heard. Saying something like, wow, it sounds like you felt really rejected, shows when you are actually listening and it makes them feel understood. And finally, offer support. Simple phrases like, how can I help? Or even just, I'm here for you, can make all the difference in the world. You know, like any skill, empathy gets stronger the more you practice it. And a great way to build this muscle is with a little empathy journal. For 7 days, just make a quick note of one small empathy action you took, something you noticed, and what you did about it. It makes you way more aware and intentional. I think you'll be surprised at how quickly you start to see a change. Wow, we've covered a lot of ground, from decoding your emotions to handling social challenges and building empathy. But just knowing this stuff isn't enough, right? Information is only powerful when you actually put it into action. So let's talk about your next step. Look, you don't have to tackle everything all at once. The best way to make real progress is to just pick one thing to focus on. So, looking at this list, which emotional upgrade are you going to commit to for this week? Are you going to focus on the pause? Or maybe limiting that comparison scroll? Or practicing one small act of empathy every day? Just pick the one that feels most important for you right now. Ultimately, mastering your emotions is really a journey of small, smart choices made over and over again. It all comes back to that simple but really profound question we learned earlier. So I'll just leave you with this to think about. What is your wise next step?